Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into a really high-stakes topic, the massive push to build advanced humanoid robots for defense. And we're going to look at one American company that's positioning itself as the West's only answer to China. So let's just dive right in with this quote. We have to win this race. I mean, these 5 words really set the stage perfectly. It tells you this isn't just about building cool tech. This is about national security, and it's about who's going to dominate the future of industry. So what is this race all about? Well, the development of these autonomous, human-like robots. It's being framed as a critical new battlefield, a direct technological rivalry, specifically between the United States and China. Okay, so this slide really lays out the whole strategic picture. According to the source material we looked at, the US is very, very strong when it comes to aerial drones, autonomy in the air. But on the ground, that's where a pretty big gap exists. And that's exactly where China is reportedly marching ahead quite aggressively. You can see why this is creating a real sense of urgency. With a gap that clear, the next question is pretty obvious, right? Who is actually stepping up to fill it for the US and its allies? Well, enter a company called Foundation. And get this, they claim to be in a very unique and maybe even a little bit concerning position. They say they're the only company in the US right now that's focused on creating humanoid robots specifically for defense. And look, this isn't just some marketing line. The CEO himself actually calls this lack of competition at home extremely scary and dangerous. It really hammers home their belief that the US is behind and needs to catch up fast. And they see themselves as leading that charge pretty much all by themselves. Now, just to be clear, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. Foundation is already in business with the US military. They've landed a contract with the Pentagon to build robots that can help soldiers with really dangerous jobs, like making it safer to breach energy sites. So let's get into the technology itself. What are these machines actually capable of? What is Foundation really building here? This table is pretty interesting because it shows you just how fast they're moving. Their first-generation robot, the Phantom Mach-1, is apparently already old news to them. The real focus, the star of the show, is the Mach-2. It's a totally different beast, designed for mass production with huge upgrades in things like durability and strength. And here's the headline number. The raw power of this new model is just incredible. The Mach-2 is designed to carry 80 kilograms. That's about 176 pounds. I mean, think about that. The company's goal is to make it, and I quote, the strongest humanoid robot in the world. But here's the twist. The vision here goes way, way beyond just military uses. The battlefield is really just the starting line. The endgame is to get these heavy-duty robots into a whole range of other sectors. We're talking about everything from building houses and helping in disaster zones to logistics, farming, and even working in senior care. The core idea is to automate the jobs that are just too difficult or too dangerous for people. And if you thought that was ambitious, check out this long-term roadmap. Wow. It's a huge 4-step plan. Step 1, start with defense and industry to bring in the money. Step 2, use that money to fund massive infrastructure projects. Step 3, use the robots to build entire cities to solve the housing crisis. And then step 4, the final leap, is to take all that tech and build new settlements on the moon and Mars. It's pretty wild stuff. So whenever you have this level of ambition, especially with this kind of technology, you're obviously going to run into some really complex ethical questions, particularly around weapons that can think for themselves. And it all kind of boils down to this fundamental dilemma, right? How much control should humans keep? Is it absolutely necessary to have a human in the loop at all times, or are there situations where you need full autonomy? So the interview really laid out 2 very different viewpoints on this. On one side, you have some in the AI industry who are really pushing back, say we need that human oversight to prevent terrible mistakes. But then on the other side, you have the military perspective. They argue that in certain defensive situations, and they use Israel's Iron Dome as a perfect example, you simply do not have time to wait for a human to give the okay. The response has to be instant to work. The CEO of Foundation justifies building these defense tools with a pretty simple principle. You have to be able to defend what you create. He argues that in a world with real adversaries, idealism isn't enough. You need the best possible tools to protect your society. So, what you should really take away from all this is the central, lingering question about the future we're all building together. As this technology gets more and more powerful, we have to ask, are these advanced robots the key to our security, Or are we creating a risk that one day we might not be able to control?